What's up, y'all? I'm back again. It's been a long day. Just got done sending a long email to Cooking with Kaya in hopes of collabing with her in the future. If you don't ask, you won't receive. So, hey, don't hurt to ask. Hopefully a collab coming soon. Y'all never know. Today I'm gonna be doing a video on how I got fired or let go from Pepsi. It's damn near all the same to me if you ask me. So this was probably 2020. Right after the pandemic started, or right when the pandemic was starting. I had just gotten back from basic training. I think I was just home for a while, just kind of chilling, and I remember I was at my friend's house, and his mom kept telling me about this job at Pepsi and how they were paying good and they were hiring, but I kind of just like put it off. I just was starting up school, and I was kind of focused on that for now, but I knew I wanted to get a job in the next month or two, so I kept it on my radar. So I guess like a month or two passes, I'm starting school and stuff like that, and I'm getting situated with that after basic training. I was in the reserve, so I still had to go do regular stuff when I was back home. And she keeps mentioning it again, and then I'm like, oh, you sure they're hiring? I'll go check it out. So I go check it out. I apply. Now when I apply, COVID is going on full blown. Like lockdown has started. People are social distancing. Everyone's wearing masks. You can't talk to people without them looking at you crazy. You can't cough without people looking at you crazy. You can't sneeze. You can't share. You just can't do nothing. We on full lockdown mode. You can't even drive to some places. This is how bad it was, guys. And I think I actually just got back from my Miami trip at this point. And when we were in Miami, that even ended up getting locked down. And if anybody knows anything about Florida, they don't care. So for Florida to be locked down, this stuff was serious.
It has to come from the same virus to be in the same family. Viruses come in families.
Stop touching niggas with your hands.
So we in the heat, the very onset of the pandemic. But anyways, I'm like, I still need to make this bread. So some people are collecting unemployment or whatever, but I'm like, I'm gonna go get my unemployment check, and I'm gonna also go. Actually, no, I can't say that. FBI, open up! Never mind. So I go apply, I get the interview, doing the Zoom call, talking to the people. They're giving me a little interviews, 2 people interviewing me, and I'm speaking to the manager, and then I think it was like an assistant manager or something like that. And this is a Pepsi distribution center, so you have your truck drivers that come in, pick up the supply, distribute it everywhere, and then we have trucks that come in with the supply, and we sort that in the warehouse and send it out to be delivered as well. So like always, I aced the interview. I end up getting hired, and then this is during summertime. So when I start, oh my gosh, when I tell you this place is hot, the warehouse has no air conditioning. The doors are always open. There's dust. You're moving around all the time. I mean, this was like peak just grunt work. It was straight grunt work, and you're lifting up pallets of sodas. This stuff starts to get heavy after you lifting up your 30th pallet in the day, and you got to carry these 20-pound cases over and over again.
Through, and I will give more explanation on the second layer.
By the end of the day, you got serious work out, and you're sweating, you stink, you're disgusted. But anyways, I started up the training. Right when I started up the training, I knew the job was going to be crazy. So, I mean, once I started up the work, I wasn't too surprised. But, it is what it is. You got to work to get that money. So, they were paying me good, so I was working good. I had no problem with it. When I did start to have a problem, though, is when I started to realize that the mentality that they were running us with was a little bit reminiscent of... I'm not even gonna say it, but it was a weird mentality that they had when they came to motivating us to work. It was more so like a crabs in the barrel or crabs in the bucket type of mentality, where if you don't work harder than this guy's going to take your spot. And it was just a weird competition dynamic at the end of the day, when it's really we're supposed to be working together to get the job done. And they had a way of ostracizing people who had low production counts at the end of the day, and it was just a little bit weird. I thought it was a little bit weird. So because some people knew that, actually I forgot to go into a big part. So I was hired on as a full-time employee. This is during their peak season. They hired me, or when their peak season was going to start. I guess summertime is their peak season, and the holidays as well. So that's when I got hired. But then they also hired a group of temporary workers from a temp agency. So from my understanding, I was full time and I was waiting. I was under a probationary period, and then within 90 days, I'd become a full employee and even get a raise after that. The temporary employees, I mean, it's temporary. You don't know how long you're going to be there. They could extend you, or they could ask you to leave any day. So this whole time I'm working, I'm thinking, I got 90 days until I get my raise, and I'm already a full-time employee, but I got 90 days, and then I'll be, it'll be hard. It's pretty much like you're set in stone after that, something like that. So they're working me, even to the point where I'm starting to get injured. I had to go to the hospital to get my ankle checked out because my ankle got smashed in between one of the standing forklifts and a section of the building. I ended up getting an injury to my chest where I like tore my pec a little bit, or had like a strain to my pec. And it's just like, it's starting to seem like every day something else is happening in my body. But I mean, this is the nature of the work, guys. It was hard work. So it definitely took a toll on my body. But me being me, I was like, all right, suck it up. They're paying good, so it is what it is. And I was like, I'll work there until I find something else. By the time you see, it's holiday season now. So we're around Thanksgiving, and this is after Thanksgiving is when things start to slow down for them. But from my perspective, I still didn't understand what was going on. I'm asking them, like, am I a full-time employee yet? And when am I going to get my raise? Like, what's going on? I was told 90 days and then I'll get my raise. So summer's passed. We're starting to reach Thanksgiving time, and I still haven't received my raise or anything like that. So I'm asking, I'm hacking at the managers. I'm letting them know, like, yo, what's going on? And I start to get like some weird responses where they're kind of like beating around the bush and stuff. And this is all within like a week-long period, so it wasn't like long where I was asking. But anyways, I end up coming in on a Monday after working an extra shift that they asked for me to work on a Saturday. So I had seen the managers on a Saturday, spoke to them on a Saturday, and then I still came in on a Monday. And I come in on the Monday, the manager says, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And I'm like, I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, "Oh yeah, you got laid off." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "Wait, why'd you guys have me work? And on Saturday, no one told me that was the weekend. Why wasn't there any communication on the weekend? Someone telling me that I'm laid off now?" And he's like, "Oh well, I don't know, just pretty much BSing." So I end up going to the boss. So there's the manager, and then there's like the boss of the actual distribution center. I end up going to her and start trying to demand answers, because at this point I'm pissed off. And she's kind of giving me the same runaround. She's like, you were never a full-time employee yet, so we're allowed to do this, so blah blah blah. So pretty much they kind of waited to use me during the brunt of the seasons, the brunt of the work, and then they laid me off right before Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving, something around that timeline, right when they started slowing down again. And to me, like, right when I start hearing this, I'm realizing everything's starting to process in my mind. And they're telling me, "Oh, we don't have as much work anymore." So I'm realizing they took advantage of me. They used me. They lied to me, told me that I had 90 days to become a full-time employee. And they were going to, after the 90 days of me having satisfactory work, I would get my raise. And none of this happened. So even the workers that I work with are like, "Yo, wow, like, what's happening? What are they talking about? You don't work here no more. You're not a temp worker. How they're not allowed to do that to you?" And I'm like, "Hey man, this is what they're saying." So at this point, I'm starting to get escorted out the building, and my rage is starting to just build up even more and more and more. And I'm going to pick up my stuff from my locker, and they're like, "Oh, you got to exit out, something." And then now they're starting to piss me off. So I'm not gonna lie, I crashed out a little bit. I didn't do nothing crazy, but I started screaming back. I started saying a couple words back, and I'm telling them, you know, I got kids. I got kids back at home. And okay, so this was right before Thanksgiving, or no, right after Thanksgiving, because Christmas was coming up. And I'm telling them, I got kids back at home. We're not gonna have no Christmas gifts because you guys laid me off right before the holidays. I was like, who does this? What type of work? What type of people do this? So I'm trying to make them feel bad. I'm not gonna lie, because like this was ridiculous. I've never been fired from a job before. I've never been laid off. So this is all just brand new to me, and I can't even fathom that this is happening. That I've busted my ass at this place for months, and then they do me like this. But I mean, it happened. Now all that was left was the workers who were originally there, and I was gone too. So they just went back to their original staff. The workers were gone, and I was gone too. And what this let me know is that I was very pissed off, but what it also let me know is like you could truly never rely on a job as your safety net or your sole source of income, because at the end of the day, the business needs is first. You are of no importance to the business. The business comes first, and that's how things operate in this country. And it's honestly how things operate everywhere. So, I mean, instead of fighting it, I told myself, I would never let myself get in this position again where this is my only source of income, and where, that me being laid off affects me so much that I'm getting almost wanting to get violent with people. You know what I mean? Because I mean it was a crazy time. I was very very pissed off, but at the end of the day, that's no way to act or anything like that. You should never lash out. As a man, you should always keep your composure. But after this happened, like I said, I told myself I'll never have a job as my sole source of income, or I'll always work to have multiple sources, and I'll never rely on a job again. Because like I said, the paychecks were looking sweet when I was working there, but at the end of the day, this is just a testament to real life. You could be working the greatest job you ever worked, paychecks can be coming in like clockwork, everything could be looking sweet, and then at the end of the day, they might come to you and tell you, hey, profit's not looking too good this quarter. You're a good worker, but we just gotta cut some things, and you're gonna be one of the people who gotta go. And at the end of the day, you can't be mad at them, because they gotta look out for the business. That's their baby, not you. So it is what it is, man. Ball up top, charges to the game. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Appreciate y'all listening.